Hello. It's Danny Doyle here with another 0% growth playthrough, and this time it is for probably my favorite ROM hack. Definitely my favorite ROM hack, at least as of the time of recording. That might change as I dive deeper into them, but I have fallen head over heels in love with Vision Quest. So, yeah, let's just fucking dive into it. This is going to be the first ROM hack that I 0% growths. I am planning on doing it on normal mode. I've gone through on normal and hard. I've only done 2 playthroughs up to now. I've gone through one on normal, one on hard. And while missing out on hard mode bonuses is going to hurt, I do think normal will overall be easier than hard. The reason I do normal is I'm just not confident that I can do Vision Quest 0% growths on hard. I had a hard enough time doing Vision Quest at all on hard. So we're going to do it on normal. Just because of the way the game is structured, there's specific chapters that I'm, like, very concerned about, even in normal mode 0% growths. So I just don't I don't have the confidence to try them on hard mode. If you are an experienced Fire Emblem player, especially an experienced 0% growth player, and you think that you can do it on hard, please, by all means, show me that I'm wrong. Please, by all means, show me that I'm wrong. I would love more people getting into this game, more people getting into this particular challenge run. That would make me very happy. That said, we are going to go ahead and do some unit reviews. Woo! I won't be able to check what people's growths are because, yeah. Although I will be able to just at a glance make sure I didn't make any errors when editing the ROM. And it does not look like I did. So, yeah, this is our starting cast. This is Storch, the main lord. And he is, in a vanilla playthrough, incredibly good. My Storch has never been good because I got a strength screwed Storch in both playthroughs, and also, weirdly, a skill screwed Storch. I mean, he doesn't have a great skill growth, but mine managed to miss the benchmarks anyway. But in a vanilla playthrough, he grows incredibly well. He has what I would describe as perfect availability. He misses part 3 because of the army structure, but I don't hold that against him since everyone in Storch's and Titus's armies misses part 3. So I consider, those to be their own separate availability pools, right? In the same way that I do judge Generation 1 and 2 of FE4, in the same way that I judge Grail Mercs versus Dawn Brigade in FE10. I do think that the Part 1 army, being Storch's and Titus's army, and the Part 3 army, being Waluyu's army, are separate pools of availability. He gets access on promotion, so he does have access to 1-2 range. As we'll talk about with some other units, lacking access to 1-2 range is not the death sentence it is in a lot of other Fire Emblems, especially a lot of other GBA Fire Emblems, just because of how player phase focused this game is, which is part of why his level 10 skill, or rather his level 15 skill of Desperation is very good, because it lets him sort of attack on player phase. He can double without facing retaliation if Desperation is active. But the biggest thing, I think, is, well, his leadership stars, which is going to grant +5 hit and +3 avoid to all units at all times, just for being out there. And Charisma, which is 10 hit and avoid to all allies within 3 tiles. This will be important even in 0 growths. I do think that his combat is also phenomenal in growths, but it's not going to be in 0 growths. It'll probably be pretty good for, like, a few chapters, and then it'll be, like, serviceable, and then it'll be bad, and he'll just be a Charisma bot. But, it's better than some lords are. He also has, like, a decent support list. He has Cat's Blogger, which is really good, too. Technically, he has a second PRF, but by the time you get Cornhusker, Lamau, he's not doing combat. That's Storch. Here's Esfer. She is often described as the Jagan of Vision Quest. I don't think that is accurate. Look, she has the same strength as Storch. She just has more speed than him. I think she has more weapon rank. She can use the Ruby Sword because she has C rank swords, and I believe Storch starts with D. Yeah, he does. And the Ruby Sword is the sort of like... So, like, Pandam made a sort of half Jagan, I would say. Like, it feels close to Nolan, but not quite. Because, like, she's not a growth unit. Like, she is just here for her bases. And one of those bases is the weapon rank. Because, like, the Ruby Sword is kind of the equivalent to a Silver Lance or Silver Axe or whatever silver weapon you usually get given. Except for it's a C rank instead of an A rank. So, like, its benefits are less than the Silvers would be, but it's still a benefit. And, of course, the big thing, 14 speed and pass on a Thief is very nice. I do think that of the Thieves to Thieve, she is the best of the three of them. We've got Esper, we've got Ottilie, and we've got Dreyfus. I do think that when Dreyfus shows up, you ditch her for him, but I would prefer her skill of pass to his, which is pivot. It really doesn't help him in stealing. The reason that he... Well, we'll get to that when we get to him. I do think that, like, once he shows up, he's probably the... If you're only deploying one Thief, it's him, because his combat's better and his con is better, which makes him better at stealing later. But I think earlier on, I would really, really like Esper as, like, just being able to pass and steal things. Like, run past people, steal gems. And that's going to be huge. That is huge in a vanilla playthrough, but that's going to be equally huge in zero growths. Until it's not, because eventually we will fail to hit some speed thresholds, which is going to be tragic. Vageless is another unit that I think is quite good. His skill of Nihil is not especially good. Later on, pre-promotes and level 15 unpromoteds will have their class skills, and sometimes bosses have skills, but I think that it is a rather unimpactful skill, and it's on a lot of units, so that's kind of tragic. But he has pretty good strength and speed growth, and becomes a warrior. I'm a big fan of warriors. Being bow-locked before promotion is actually pretty good. Flyers are threatening, and they start showing up pretty quickly in the campaign, so having a high-strength bow user is very nice. Again, like, just highlighting the Jagan versus, like, she's not really a Jagan. He has more strength than her. He's slower. Like, she'll double. She's probably dealing more damage overall, especially because he starts out with an iron weapon and D-rank bows. But it is much closer than, you know, your Jagans, or even, like, yeah. I think that Esper is not a Jagan, but she ends up sort of filling that. Maybe she is. It's a weird approach to it. I like it. I really do like it. She's a very valuable unit in part 1, and part 2. Like, she's just valuable until you get Dreyfus. I think I deploy her every map just because there's so much to steal. But enough about Esper. Vageless just grows really well. Like all warriors, high strength, generally less defense than, like, the weak point, I guess, is the defense, but they do tend to get really high HP, and he's no different. But Nihil just makes it so he doesn't especially stand out in the skills category. He is really leaning on those stats. You know, he gets the warrior skill as well. I am failing to remember what that is at the moment. But you can just, I don't know, you can use, well, there's not that many other warriors, are there? There's Freya, who sucks, and then there's Male's father, Cygnus, who's, like, shows up incredibly late. So yeah, I think Vageless in a vanilla playthrough is, like, if you want a warrior, Vageless is probably the best candidate, and, like, bows are very, very nice early on. Yeah, I'm a fan of him. I used him in my hard mode playthrough, and he was huge, but it was really just the stats. It was not anything else about it. Well, the stats and the access to bows. It wasn't really anything else about him. Arcade is our Axe Mercenary. His personal is, not Gentilome, but it's the other one. Oh yeah, it is Gentilome. I got Gentilome and Demoiselle mixed up, but he's protecting females. Yay, hooray. He respect women. His stats are fine, they're balanced, his growths tend to complement them. Vageless gets a little bit more strength than speed. Arcade gets a little bit more speed than strength, but he, like, as to be expected for a hero, or a merc into a hero. He's nice. He's very nice to have. He also has, Quick Riposte, which sort of puts him on the more, like, defensive position. I haven't especially used him long-term. I used him short-term in both of my playthroughs and just wasn't especially pleased with his performance. He does have a personal at the Kayatsu. It is a Reaver Hatchet. I don't care for it personally. I feel like... So it gives him weapon try. It feels like the two qualities are kind of working in opposition to each other, because it's a Reaver, so weapon triangle over swords, but it's a 1-2 range, and that means going into combat against 1-2 range enemies. Those tend to be lance enemies with javelin, so it kind of screws him over if you're using it for 1-2 range. And Vision Quest doesn't give you a hand axe for quite some time. There's one in a village available in Chapter 4, and if you miss that, you have to wait until, I believe it's Chapter 7 shop. It's the one where you get Ruslan and Lajos as playable units. I believe that's 1-7. That is the first shop where you have hand axes available. And yeah, you have quite a few chapters before then. Oh wait, no, I think that's 1-8 actually. And in addition, there are 2 Gaiden chapters before it. So it's a very long time before you get a bunch of 1-2 range axes. So you will end up using the Casio just for the fact it's 1-2 range. And it kind of feels like it sometimes hurts that it's a Reaver. I don't know, maybe it's just me. Maybe there are good groups of 1-2 range of, like, sword users and bow users. But anytime it's used against, like, a javelin user, the Reaver hurts it. And it gets a hand axe user, it doesn't really do anything. The might is also, like, you know, 6 might. 1-2 range is not especially great in this hack. They tend to have very, very low might weapons and low durability, and the Casio is no different, but, you know, it's nice to have, especially in the first few chapters. Like, 1-2 range is still 1-2 range, and he's going to be quite useful as a result of that. And last but not least, we have Lara, and Lara is sort of the growth unit mage. She has Miracle, which is closer to Holdout than anything, but this was before Engage, so hashtag Pandan did it first. But yeah, from my recognition, I used her once, and then I just sort of used her as a filler in my hard mode playthrough. In normal mode, I used her. She just lost too many coin flips, and Vernon was better when he showed up. And I could hashtag just use both, but there were enough units that I wanted to use that I ended up not doing it. I do think that she's in a pretty good position as the only magic user for quite a while. The next magic user you get is Titus, and he joins in, I believe, 1-9. It's the chapter after the hand axes that I just talked about. So if I got numbering mixed up, then my numbering's mixed up on both of them. But it is one chapter after Ruslan and Lajos join. And if you want to be able to use magic, you gotta use Lara. I guess the other option is you could use the first Earth Seal on Osain or Onisim in order to promote them and give them anima or light magic respectively. But you get that Earth Seal at the same time that Titus joins. So Lara is still the only tome user until Titus joins. And that in and of itself is a very good niche because Armor Knights and Generals, well I guess only Armor Knights at that point in the game, but Armor Knights are very difficult to deal with your physical units. You can use effective weaponry. I believe you get the hammer in 1-4, and Storch has the Katzblogger, and I think there might be an Armor Slayer somewhere, but I don't remember where you get it. But effective weaponry is pretty rare overall in the game, but especially early on. So Lara being able to hit on res is nice. Obviously 1-2 range, but she's not super bulky. That said, Miracle, the fact that it functions similar to Holdout, means that she can survive. She can always survive at least one round of combat. And often her bulk is enough to do that without Miracle, but even when it's not, Miracle will make it so she survives a round of combat. Or rather, she'll survive one attack. If she's getting doubled and one shot both times, then she won't survive. Or if she's getting doubled and, like, knocked below Miracle range, then she won't survive. But she can often survive a round of combat without Miracle's help, and Miracle can push her over the ability to do that when otherwise she wouldn't sometimes. She also has another PRF. It's the Wind Tome. It's just, like, slightly higher might and slightly better accuracy than Fire. It's nice to have. It's probably what I'm going to be using the majority of the time with her, just because her stats are not going to continue to grow as she wants them to. So being able to use that to, you know, supplement that for the long stretch of the game where she's going to be my only caster. Well, I guess technically I get the wizard bow too, so she's one of 2 casters. That being the other user, the user of the wizard bow being the other quote-unquote caster. But yeah, that is the Chapter 1 squad. We'll be right back. Now that I've done unit review, I'm just going to cut so that I can go to actually playing the map. Okay, I'm back. And first off, I did end up checking the warrior skill, and it is Fiery Blood. Or I should say the fighter skill, and it's Fiery Blood. Which is actually probably going to be somewhat useful in this playthrough. Just because it's a damage booster, right? Basically, if you have less than full HP, your damage gets boosted. So that's probably going to be useful because if I'm understanding correctly, Fiery Blood is true damage. I might be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure it's true damage. Oh, we get to see Storch's amazing crit animation. Interesting choice by Pandan that Storch has basically the same animations as standard Merc, like a standard, what you call it? Standard, like sword Merc, right? Not an axe Merc like Arcade, but a regular old sword Merc. However, his crit animation is different, which is pretty cool. Like, it's a cool crit animation. I just, it feels odd for a main lord to share so many animations with a standard class. And I didn't realize it on my first playthrough, because your first sword Merc doesn't show up until quite late in the game. It's Gunner, and he shows up in the Graveyard chapter, but like pretty late in the Graveyard chapter. Can Storch kill here? We can get this kill with Lara. Or we can set it up with Lara, we can get it with Storch. I'm trying to funnel experience into Storch, because getting Storch to 10 will allow him to promote when I eventually get his story-based promotion item. The Harvest Ring. You get it at the end of part 1, but it is still going to be useful because it gives him axes, it gives him a slight bulk advantage, which might come in handy. And, to my mind, like, most important of all, the extra point of movement. Another important thing that we want to make sure that we're doing is visiting all of these houses, and doing it very swiftly, because, eventually, Leslie's gonna show up with some scary-ass soldiers. Okay, Lara's gonna get attacked by that guy, and we can't really take them on. We'll get this talk convo, and we'll just wait like that. And because of Miracle, Lara's gonna be fine here. Oof. I've been playing a lot of Fates recently. I'm doing just a casual Rev playthrough, and the soldier moving gave me a heart attack because I was like, oh no, I didn't account for the dual strike. But that is not what was going on. So the fact that Lara dodged that bow, I believe means I can basically freely visit this village with her. Grab the pure water. Pure water is going to be quite nice, because Pandan took Kaga's approach to things in that mages are incredibly threatening, and a lot of units, I'm not sure if you've noticed when I was doing unit review, but this whole squad starts with very low resistance, and the majority of units in part 1 start with very low resistance. The few that don't have resistance for story reasons. Well, I guess Natsuko, the Pegasus Knight, has it because she's a Pegasus Knight, and then Gunner has it for story reasons of, like, it's not explicitly stated, but it is implied that one of the reason, to my mind at least, that his res is so good is, in the story, he's a mage hunter. So, like, of course, if you're hunting mages, you would want to have good res. This is the first instance of frustration with Arcade having a Reaver perf. I would rather just have weapon triangle advantage here. I believe that there's a stealable vulnerary somewhere around here. Is it the horse? Yeah, it's the horse. Okay. So, Arcade, go ahead and kill. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have Vageless visit the house down there. And what is this again? Oh, it's a talisman, yes. We were just talking about how important res is going to be. Ooh. Okay, I can kill with I can attack with Kotzblogger and then kill with the Fire Tome. If she had left Wind equipped, I would have been able to kill with Storch, and that would be very nice. Oh boy, my first level up. I hope it's a good one. Oh no, my Storch is Strength Root again. Okay, this is a little inconvenient. Maybe I should have checked damages. It's fine, though. So I think we have... Okay, you can only reach to there. So I think what we do is we end up having you go here. Oh, she doesn't have a vulnerary. Oh, there's no vulnerary up here. Okay. Well, we'll do this then. And we'll see. If she dodges, it's sick. She did not dodge, it's not sick. Okay, well, Arcade's Reaver is going to come in handy now. So I guess it is sort of a double-edged sword, or rather double-edged sword Reaver. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Because what I can do is I can steal the vulnerary. And yes, this is actually important because your economy is quite tight in the early game, or in the majority of Vision Quest, but especially the early game. Your economy is quite tight. And so being able to steal a vulnerary instead of having to purchase it once the armory becomes available is very nice. Ooh, another thing I didn't mention, but should have, that is very nice about Vision Quest is the armory. The Prep's armory isn't a scam. I think what we do... I think you're gonna start just coming. Yeah, I think we just do this. Oh, here they come. Okay. So he's gonna be a problem. Let's have Vaguelist not be here to get countered. We're gonna move you to help out. You down. You down. Maybe Esper should have chugged a vulnerary. I think she's fine, though. The hope is that we dodge this guy, and then we can kill him on player phase. But even if we don't dodge, we live one hit. Oh, ouch. I mean, it was a 47. Just, you know, I was like, Storch is a merc, and he's a fighter. Like, maybe I can dodge. I could not maybe dodge. Okay. Well, Storch can at least kill with the Kotzblogger. Could probably kill with... Honestly, could probably kill with Slim Sword. So let's trade the Slim Sword onto him and eat a vulnerary. Vulns in this game are 15. Again, very much like Engage, but prior to Engage coming out. So once again, Pandan did it first. Truly a visionary of the Fire Emblem community. Truly a visionary. Do I have... I've got a regular old Iron Axe, so I think I go Iron Axe. And we simply wait. We only have one more house to visit, but this guy also has a stealable vulnerary. With Arcady positioned there, though, the Lance guy can't reach him. Ooh, that's a good dodge. That's a very good dodge. Arcade is unfortunately not doubling. Get used to people not doubling, because no one's doubling in Chapter 1. Which means no one's doubling in general. Okay, can we... With the Kaietsu... Ooh, that's actually, like, pretty bad. It's actually, like, pretty bad. Okay. I think we have you shoot with the Iron Bow. Very good, very good. Does this Armor Knight only have one range? He's a sword armor, so he must. Yeah, Iron Sword, but it's also got a stealable. Okay. I think what we do is... Heal up. How much damage do you do with wind? 11 times 2. That is a secured kill. Unfortunately, that would put you in range, but I think what we end up doing, right? Steal the vulnerary. She is... It has to be greater than or equal to 50%, right? If HP is greater than 50. Ooh, so 11's she does not get Miracle for. So I think what we end up doing then instead is kill this guy with wind, and then have Arcady sort of body block, so that the boss doesn't kill Lara, because I want my mage girl to live. I actually quite liked Lara on the playthrough where I used her. The problem is that, like, I just ended up bailing on her because Vernon was better. And I have a feeling that I'm going to be bailing on Lara much earlier than Vernon joins in this playthrough. But who knows, because, like, she is, as I mentioned, the only... Ooh, that's a good dodge. That is quite a good dodge. But yeah, she is the only available mage for quite some time. Okay. So now, here's Leslie and her soldiers. And for those of you who might be familiar with classic GBA, where soldiers are not a threat, that is not the case here. 9 strength, 7 speed, they've got iron and jabs. And then she is a halberdier. She's known for her ruthlessness, and that's not a fucking joke. Also, she comes with 4 leadership stars, so now suddenly everyone else on the map is more threatening as a result of her arriving. So this is, you know, potentially a problem. This guy drops his torch, and we do want it. I believe what we... Ooh, okay, this is rough, because I do want... Okay, I think... I would like Arcady and Storch to be able to change places, basically. But I don't think that's possible. So I think instead we do this. We just have the fighter available. Fighter's got 5 moves, so he goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He cannot reach Lara. He's almost certainly going to be baited into attacking... He's almost certainly going to be baited into attacking Vageless. So I think Lara attacks with fire, chips this guy down so that Storch can get the kill with the Kotzblogger. And Esper is going to visit the last house. There we go. Okay, goodbye, Turkin. There we forking go. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. By the way, is Turkin a type of food? A lot of characters in this hack are named after types of food. So that would be, I guess, the comment question of the day. Is Turkin a type of food? Also, nice goddess icon. In most games, that would simply be a bullion, but you get so little money in this game for selling the stat boosters that I'm actually not certain I want to sell it, especially because, you know, 0 growth's moment. I think we go ahead and shove. Oh yeah, all infantry have shove. I'm pretty sure I mentioned that, but in case I didn't. So that's 13, 12. Okay, yeah, I think we... Ooh, oh, wait, that's actually horrible. Oh, that's actually horrible. Oh, we can't secure the kill now. Does he kill Lara? 14, yes he does. Okay. Fuck. Okay, he doesn't kill... He doesn't kill Vageless. So we can still get a little bit of chip with Arcady. Ooh! The crit! Okay. Arcady, I talked down. Arcady is the one prologue person, or rather chapter 1 person, who I have not used long-term in any playthrough. And I'm just, like, not super a fan of him, but, I guess he wants to prove, me wrong. Anyway, that was chapter 1, or rather chapter 1-1. I'm probably gonna call these by the wrong numbers, because, Vision Quest and Radiant Dawn numbering system be weird and confusing. But yeah, let me know what you think, if you're excited for this playthrough. I'm very excited for this playthrough, but, yeah. Bye-bye.